No one in Aster City noticed the moment the boundary cracked. It happened in silence deep inside the unseen layer of reality where thoughts drift like clouds and nightmares crawl in the dark. In that endless psychic realm known as the Dream Rift, a guardian chased a monster older than memory itself. His name was Noctira. Tall, emerald-skinned, with glowing eyes that bent the very shape of matter. Noctira was one of the Dream Guardians' beings sworn to protect mortal minds from creatures that fed on fear and madness. For centuries they had hunted a single elusive enemy, Mirrorlord, a creature of whispers and illusions. A parasite that twisted thoughts until people no longer recognized their own minds. For ages Mirrorlord had escaped them. Until tonight, the hunt pushed Noctira across the shifting landscape of dreams, through spiraling corridors of memory and shadow. Finally, the demon made a desperate move. Instead of fleeing deeper into the Dream Rift, Mirrorlord slipped through a forbidden doorway. Into a human mind. The rule was absolute. Dream Guardians never entered mortal minds. The risk was too great. But this time Noctira ignored the law. He leapt through the breach. The moment he crossed the boundary, the world twisted violently. Thoughts became labyrinths. Memories became storms. And somewhere in the waking world, a college student named Evan Cole suddenly woke up screaming from a nightmare. Because inside his mind, a cosmic guardian was now trapped. Evan Cole had never believed in monsters. He was a normal college student in Aster City. His days were filled with lectures, cheap coffee, unfinished homework, and late-night gaming with friends. Life was simple, predictable, until the nightmares started. Every night, the same dream returned. A towering green figure moved through a strange shifting world made of broken streets, floating buildings, and endless fog. Its glowing eyes bent the air itself, twisting walls and ground like soft clay. Sometimes the creature seemed to be fighting something hidden in the darkness. Other times it simply looked around, confused. Evan always woke up just before dawn, heart racing. The image burned into his mind. At first, he blamed stress. But the dreams kept getting worse. Stranger still, the city news began reporting sightings of a mysterious figure appearing at night. Witnesses described a glowing green being flying between skyscrapers, stopping robberies and bending the environment in impossible ways. Concrete curling like paper, streetlights twisting into cages, cars sliding aside without being touched. The descriptions were identical to the creature in Evan's nightmares. Meanwhile, deep inside Evan's mind, Noctira struggled through a maze of memories and thoughts. Human minds were chaotic, unpredictable places. Nothing followed the rules of the Dream Rift. And worst of all, his navigation device, the Dream Key, was gone. Without it, Noctira had no way back home. For the first time in centuries, a Dream Guardian was trapped inside a human mind. The first time it happened, Evan thought he was still dreaming. He had fallen asleep on the couch after another exhausting day of classes. The apartment was quiet, lit only by the soft glow of the city outside his window. Then something strange happened. Across Aster City, a robbery was about to unfold in a dark alley. Two men cornered a frightened shop owner, shouting and waving weapons. Suddenly, the ground beneath their feet twisted. The concrete folded upward like a rising wave. Street signs bent like metal vines wrapping around their arms. A wall nearby stretched and curved, sealing the alley like a cage. And standing at the center of it all was Noctira. For the first time since entering Evan's mind, he had manifested in the physical world. Noctira quickly realized the strange rule of his new existence. He could only appear when Evan was asleep. When the human mind drifted into unconsciousness, the bond between them opened a door into reality. It was a narrow window, but it was enough. Night after night, Noctira explored the unfamiliar city. Towers of glass replaced dream landscapes and roaring traffic replaced the whispers of the Dream Rift. Yet, danger still existed. Criminals, strange energies, and traces of Mirrorlord's presence lingered in the shadows. Meanwhile, Evan began noticing something even stranger. Every morning he woke up feeling oddly exhausted, like he had been running all night. And the news reports kept showing that same glowing figure, the creature from his nightmares. Neither of them fully understood it yet, but a strange partnership had already begun. The truth finally came to Evan in a dream. That night, the world inside his mind looked different. Instead of chaos and shifting shadows, the dream formed into a quiet street floating in endless fog. Streetlights glowed softly. The air felt calm, and standing at the center of the road was the figure from every nightmare, Noctira. Evan froze at first. Up close, the being looked even more unreal. Tall emerald skin, glowing faintly, eyes shining like distant stars. Wait, you're real? Evan asked. Noctira nodded slowly. And unfortunately, so are you. Over the next few moments, Noctira explained everything: the Dream Rift, the ancient hunters who protected human minds, and the monster called Mirrorlord. He admitted he had broken a sacred rule by entering Evan's mind during the chase. Now they were bound together. Evan listened in disbelief. So, when I sleep, you walk around the city using my brain as a doorway? In simple terms, Noctira said calmly, yes. Instead of panicking, Evan surprised him. Okay, Evan said after a long pause. If you're stuck here, And you're basically some dream cop? Then Aster City probably needs you. From that moment their strange partnership began. By day Evan searched the city for clues about Mirrorlord's presence. Strange incidents, people suffering from sudden madness, unexplained nightmares. By night when Evan slept, Noctira became the silent guardian of Aster City. 2 minds. 2 worlds. 1 mission. Stop Mirrorlord before the nightmare spreads beyond control. For weeks the partnership worked. By day, Evan tracked strange cases across Aster City, people waking up screaming, artists destroying their own work, students collapsing from terrifying dreams. Every case carried the same invisible fingerprint. Mirrorlord was getting stronger. By night, Noctira fought what crept out of those nightmares. Shadow creatures slipped through cracks in the dream rift, feeding on fear and confusion. But something about the attacks felt wrong. Too organized. Too deliberate. Then the truth finally revealed itself. One night, the entire city saw them. Dozens of glowing figures descended from the sky, beings that looked exactly like Dream Guardians. Their emerald eyes lit up the streets as they twisted buildings, shattered windows, and sent waves of panic across Aster City. News cameras captured everything. Unknown dream creatures attacking the city. Authorities warned citizens to stay indoors. The world believed the invaders were monsters. And they all looked exactly like Noctira. Evan watched the chaos unfold on every screen in his apartment. His hands trembled. "This is Mirrorlord," he whispered. It was the perfect trap. Fake Dream Guardians had been unleashed into the city, destroying everything in sight. To humans they were all the same. To the public there was no difference between Noctira and the attackers. Overnight, the city's mysterious protector became its greatest threat. Meanwhile, deep within the Dream Rift, Mirrorlord watched the panic spread like wildfire. And he smiled. Because now that the Guardian's reputation was destroyed, he could finally go after the one human who mattered most. Everything collapsed in a single night. Across Aster City, emergency sirens screamed through the streets. News stations replayed the same footage again and again, glowing green figures tearing through buildings, twisting streets, and sending crowds running in fear. To the world there was only one name for the creature responsible: Noctira. Evan sat in his apartment staring at the television. His chest felt tight. Every report blamed the same mysterious being that had once saved the city at night. Now he was being hunted. Helicopters searched the skyline. Authorities prepared special response teams. Social media exploded with panic and anger. Noctira was never a hero. He's the one behind everything. Evan clenched his fists. "This is Mirrorlord's plan," he muttered. "He turned the whole world against you." That night, when Evan finally fell asleep, Noctira appeared beside him inside the dreamscape. For the first time since they met, the Guardian looked exhausted. "The deception was flawless," Noctira said quietly. "Humans believe what they see. And Mirrorlord made sure they saw monsters that looked like me." Before Evan could respond, the dream world around them shattered. Black fog poured through the sky. A massive shape formed in the darkness. Mirrorlord. The ancient demon had stopped hiding. Guardian Mirrorlord's voice echoed like a whisper inside their minds. "You chased me across eternity. And now you brought me exactly where I wanted to be." The creature turned its burning gaze toward Evan. The fragile human. In that moment, Evan realized the terrifying truth. He had never been just a doorway. He had always been the target. The dream world twisted violently around them. Fragments of Evan's memories floated through the air, classrooms, city streets, childhood moments, all breaking apart under Mirrorlord's growing power. The demon towered over them, its body shifting like living smoke. "You see now," Mirrorlord whispered, voice echoing through every corner of the mindscape. "The human mind is the perfect battlefield." Evan stepped back, fear tightening his chest. Noctira stood between them. "You wanted me here," the Guardian said slowly. "You let me follow you." Mirrorlord smiled. "Of course. You were never the prey." Suddenly, the demon's body pulsed with strange light. Noctira's glowing eyes narrowed. There, deep inside Mirrorlord's shifting form, was a faint mechanical shimmer. The dream key. The device Noctira had lost the moment he entered Evan's mind. Mirrorlord had stolen it. "That is why you could bring your creatures into the physical world," Noctira said. "You hid the key inside yourself." Mirrorlord laughed softly. "And you finally noticed. But the moment the demon revealed it, the trap broke." Noctira's eyes flared with bright emerald light. The air warped. Reality itself began to bend under the force of his warp gaze. The ground beneath Mirrorlord folded upward like a closing cage. Pieces of Evan's dream world twisted into massive spirals, locking the demon in place. For the first time, Mirrorlord struggled. Noctira stepped forward slowly. "You wanted a battlefield inside a human mind," he said calmly. His eyes burned brighter. "Then this battlefield now belongs to me." The storm inside Evan's mind reached its breaking point. Reality bent in impossible ways. Streets from Evan's memories spiraled upward. Buildings folded into floating platforms. The sky fractured into glowing shards of light. At the center of it all, Noctira's eyes blazed like twin stars. Mirrorlord struggled inside the warped cage of twisted space. Every time the demon tried to shift or escape, the world itself reshaped around him. You cannot hold me forever, Mirrorlord hissed. No, Noctira said calmly. But I only need a moment. His gaze focused deeper. Through layers of shadow and energy, he saw the faint glow buried within Mirrorlord's body. The Dream Key. With precise control, Noctira bent the dreamscape around the demon's core. Invisible pressure forced the artifact outward. Slowly, painfully, the device tore free from Mirrorlord's form. The demon screamed, as the key floated into Noctira's hand. For the first time, Mirrorlord looked afraid. You would exile me, he growled. I will send you somewhere. Even nightmares cannot follow. Noctira raised the dream key. A massive rift opened above them, an endless vortex of distant stars and silent darkness. With one final surge of power, the warped world hurled Mirrorlord into the void. The rift collapsed. Silence returned. Moments later, Noctira turned to Evan. The threat is gone, he said. But the dream key suddenly flickered and vanished with the closing rift. Evan sighed. So, you're still stuck with me. Noctira looked toward the distant horizon of the dream, for now. And from that night on, whenever Evan fell asleep, Aster City gained a guardian born from dreams. Comment 1 for the next part.